I'm Todd Bookspan, and welcome to your neighborhood real estate show. The hyperlocal real estate show where real estate professionals talk about the neighborhood you live in or the neighborhood you want to live in. This episode is brought to you by homebuyeruniversity.net, your free comprehensive guide to buying or refinancing your home. Click over to homebuyeruniversity.net to get started online today. Hey everyone, welcome to your neighborhood real estate show. I'm your host, Todd Bookspan. I'm super excited to have Schude with the Schude Group at Keller Williams Integrity First here today. How are you?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Gosh, I'm so excited. You bring so much energy.
I'm trying to taper it down a little bit.
Lightning in a bottle, that's what I call it.
Lightning in a bottle?
We're ready to go.
Yeah.
We're ready to go. So let's real quick just talk a little about you, the team, the Schude Group. What's going on?
Sure. Okay. So me and Schude, and I work with my husband, Mike Schude, and then we have 2 admin on our team and 2 sales agents.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So a little team, we're tight-knit, kind of like family. So we're all involved in kind of the day-to-day and help each other out. So it's super fun.
And we're going to start off talking about Gilbert, Arizona, because you're all into Gilbert, Arizona.
Yeah, we are.
It's on your t-shirt.
Yes. It says, I love Gilbert.
I love Gilbert.
It's like what's it? Vote for Pedro.
Yeah.
That's what it's supposed to look like.
It looks exactly like that.
Perfect. So
exactly. It's just hidden under the coat.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to be professional here.
All right, so someone listening who has no clue where Gilbert, Arizona is, help us understand that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Gilbert, Arizona is in the Southeast Valley of Arizona, and around 250,000 people, but it's got a ton of momentum and good press. We're like the 3rd safest city in America. Yeah, and it's cute. There's a ton to do, tons of great restaurants. There's restaurants. I love food, so that's all. I mean, what else do you need to know? Restaurants, shopping, amazing schools, and now we're getting more jobs into the area, and it's just growing like crazy. So, and kind of trying to get a little more of that higher end feel. People say the next Scottsdale. I don't know. It's kind of cliche, but that's us.
Who wants to be the next Scottsdale?
I know, and we're still affordable though.
Yeah.
As compared
so what's
to
affordable?
Scottsdale.
So how much does a house in Gilbert cost?
So the average price of a house is probably $350 right now, $350,000. But obviously you can't get really anything under $300 right now. Single family, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500 square feet, and then all the way up. To up to $2 million. So it just kind of depends. But so there's a really good range. The people are amazing. It's just super fun.
So what's your one favorite thing about Gilbert?
My favorite thing about Gilbert, it's got to be the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a community, and it feels like a small town still. So that's kind of fun. You run into people that you know. I grew up here, so I run into people all the time because I went to school here. But yeah, it's just really the people and the community, and people are super involved and friendly. And then I love seeing the growth, and it's I would talk about restaurants and things in shopping, but it's really nice. It's just fun to see.
Downtown's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was just going to say the downtown that, for years and years it was a liquor store and an old, where Liberty Market is, it was this old market, grocery store. And then all of a sudden, the Johnston family is huge. Joe Johnston, I don't know if you've heard of him, but they have Joe's Barbecue, and they were instrumental in really developing the downtown and making it cool. And they wanted a look to it, right? Not just a bunch of strip malls and stucco everywhere. So, and that's another cool thing about Gilbert is it's these farming families have been completely invested in making Gilbert kind of that small town. So a lot of these families have been there for over 60 years and generations. And sorry, stop me anytime.
No, this is exactly what I want to hear. I'm learning.
Good.
I love Gilbert myself, but I don't know the history.
Yeah, there's so much history. So the Morrisons, Gilbert was the hay capital of the world at one point. And so what was really cool is they had all this farmland and they could see growth, and this of course was years ago. And so builders approached them to subdividing the farmland and building on there, and they said that's fine, but we want to say in what it looks like. We want to say in the planning and the developing, because we are so passionate and we're so invested in this area that we're just not going to sell it to the highest bidder. So you'll hear Higley Grove is Morrison Ranch, and what it is it's white picket fences. Grass everywhere. They've built it around these silos, these 4 silos, and they built lakes in there. So you really get that hometown feel. So that's one family. And then you get the Johnstons and Agritopia, which I don't know if you've been through there, but
I have.
It's
You made fun of my Prius a little earlier.
Well, your Prius was in Agritopia?
No, but like that's kind of a hip place. Like,
it is hip. No, I mean, Prius is great. Like, it's so cute.
For other people, that's cool. I'm gonna go with that.
But so Agritopia, so it's the same thing. Like, you go through the neighborhood, there's white picket fences, tons of grass, because let's face it, Arizona, a lot of builders, they're just like rocks everywhere, just throw rocks out. And so then they look like these old houses you might see in like here where we're at, like downtown Phoenix. So it's cool. It's just different. And so that makes it, and they're not stopping there. So that Agritopia, they're building the epicenter, which is going to have like luxury apartments with shopping downstairs. So we're just getting a ton of good things, not only like Scottsdale, but Arcadia, I'm sure you're familiar with. A lot of the businesses up there are coming down to Gilbert. They're feeling the momentum. So it's a super exciting place to be. And then just to hear the announcements of new fun places opening up. So I could talk for a day.
Well, and that was it. We recently were going out to the Lantern Festival, and my daughter's like, let's go to downtown Gilbert.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely, let's do it. And of course, it made us almost late for the Lantern Festival because it was packed. I mean, there was people there. Everyone's walking around.
And like any day, I mean, a day of the week, right? Like, I've been there on a Monday. And then you've got the Hale Theater down there. And it's really good. It's a small theater, great shows. And then, of course, you walk anywhere to eat. And so it's a fun night out. And then with the holidays, they've got lights. And that's the cool thing about Gilbert. So you've got the downtown area, but then you've got the Santan area, which is outdoor shopping. And then tons of new restaurants coming in there.
So it's got everything. And so you guys have Go Gilbert.
Yes.
So gogilbert.com, and you've got a great Facebook group as well.
Yeah.
With 50,000 members now.
Yeah,
so
over
there's lots of cool action
members
in there for people to go in and ask good questions.
Yeah. So it's fun. It's highly entertaining because people, and now that was one thing when we started it, we thought, well, how are we going to come up with content? Like, that's a full-time job. No, people have their own content, and it's funny. And Mike, husband/partner, has a really quirky sense of humor, and he's always joking around, and it's kind of taken on that face. So it's informative, but we've had good feedback that's pretty entertaining because people are really funny.
Well, you let me in. I was either like 49,999 or 50,000.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. You're like, I was in the 50.
I was really close to number 50,000. But I was super impressed because people are asking legitimate questions like, hey, I need this type of referral and recommendation, which I think is really cool. And then other people are putting in funny stuff, which is great.
Yeah, it's a good mix. But the thing that I didn't know, so we are super passionate because we're small business owners and promoting other people in small business. And we have had some great feedback from people who have gotten referrals from our group. Like, we have someone who owns, a mechanic shop, like auto body shop. And he's like, I'm looking at all my competitors doing the numbers and everybody's down. And he's like, since I got on Go Gilbert and I've been getting good referrals, because, third-party referrals, I know they're the best.
Absolutely.
And he's like, I'm up. He's like, our revenue is up. And I'm the only one of my competitors that I know of because, they're going to take, and he goes, I attribute so much of that to Go Gilbert because people come in and like, oh, I saw you on Go Gilbert, and they offer like 10% discount or stuff. And I'm like,
nice.
I love it. I love being a part of like someone else's, even small, because I don't know anything about cars, but a small part of someone else's success. Like, I love that. I love, a lot of our videos that we do is really just promoting other people in their businesses. Like, I love being a cheerleader. It's super fun.
Well, and I think it's so important because I think that it's easy to sit in your house and go to your same restaurant or two and then not actually get to know the community. And you guys are doing a great job at helping people meet other members of the community.
Yeah. Well, and people just don't know. I mean, and unfortunately, I eat out like 3 times a day. And so I'm always looking for a new place. And people are like, I drove by that restaurant. I've never been in there. That's so great to know what it is. And so it's just getting the word out. And honestly, like, the better Gilbert does, as far as like making money, the better we all do, right? So
there you go.
Yeah, so it's fun to try and help keep it going. So
all right, so you guys make money buying and selling, helping people buy
and
sell
houses.
Yes, we
don't make money on
Should we
Go
talk
Gilbert?
about that for a minute? So someone who's thinking, hey, I'm going to list my home, right? Like, what kind of advice would you give and help someone who's looking at selling a house understand you guys?
So obviously we help people with listing and purchasing a home. Listing, our wheelhouse is marketing. And that's something that we're branding, marketing, that we're super passionate about, and making everything look pretty. And so, and we truly...
Because nobody wants an ugly house.
Right. No, well, I mean, for sure. But And so we really like to, speaking of being a cheerleader, like when we take on your listing to sell your house, we are a cheerleader for your home. We're your number one fan. And, when a house, when you're doing comparables for a house, right? Like, you like look at similar square feet, what's sold recently, all that stuff.
Try to help someone price it properly.
But honestly, the clean houses that are stage right, like we'll push the envelope and try to get people more money because we work with buyers too. And we know if your house is going to stand out, someone's willing to pay for that. Right? Because not a lot of our buyers want to go in and redo flooring, redo those things. So they'll pay a premium. And I think that's something that I've noticed with other agents are missing the mark. For instance, we had a listing. We went to a listing appointment. They had interviewed 2 other agents that were like the neighborhood specialists. That's what they worked. And so I said, and so he's like, well, what do you think our house is worth? Granted, the house is beautiful. Like, I just fell in love with it. And I'm like, this is so clean. Like, we sell, 80 houses or more a year. And I'm like, okay, this is one of the top ones. And I said, I think, smaller house. I said, I think 325. And he looked at me and he goes, the client across the table, he's like, huh. And so you never know. You're like, oh my gosh.
Like, what good or bad? Does he think 300 or is he think 350?
Exactly. He goes, well, I had 2 others that, they work the neighborhood, came in with a price at 270.
Wow. Because they wanted to buy it themselves?
Well, I don't know. And so then I'm like, your brain's like, I'm like, oh my gosh. And so Mike was with me and we looked at each other, we get in the car, we're like, what, did we miss something? Like, because then you're like, what the heck? That's like $55,000 different. And so then we're kind of sweating a little bit. And so granted, in 6 days, we had a full price offer at our 325. So I'm like, I feel like, I don't know, like not all houses are the same. Like you can sit there and we're having pretty good luck with appraisers understanding that too.
Well, and that's always a key piece of it. So go back to what you said. You said clean houses that are staged. So how do you help someone understand that their house maybe needs a little spit shine or a little bit of an improvement if they want to get that high dollar price?
Well, tactfully, right? Try to, like, what the heck are you thinking? Like, no. So really just everything I tell people is just like clean lines. And I really put it on the photographer, right? Because the pictures are so much better. And 99.9% of people, they're scrolling through the internet and they want to see like the professional photos. They want to see nothing on the counters because they can't focus, right? And so just decluttering as much as you can. And then obviously like we'll help with ideas for moving furniture around, things like that. We also have a staging company, sometimes vacant homes, if it's a kind of a funky floor plan or, now everyone has these great, huge open floor plans, these great rooms, which buyers want, but they kind of look like a box when you walk inside. So then it's like, that would be my first thing is we've got to stage this somehow because
that means you just hire someone who actually does interior decorating. They bring in the furniture. You kind of rent the furniture, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Or, there's so many different, tricks. And you know what's amazing and people don't realize paint. Paint is, it's so cheap. And that is like the first way to make your house feel like a brand new home. Yeah, exactly. So there's so many ways and people think, it's so expensive to do some of those things to get my house ready to sell, but it's like, no, we understand.
Not if you go into Gilbert and you get a recommendation.
Yeah, exactly, for sure. And but then on the flip side, when a buyer comes in, if they need new paint, suddenly they're reducing their offer price by $10,000. It's like, well, no, it doesn't cost that, but that's how a buyer thinks. Right, so as a seller, if you can kind of, and then there's, we're helping even, and a lot of sellers may not have that money up front, but there's ways to actually build through escrow. And so maybe you don't have the money up front to do some of those things. Because I know everybody's in a different financial situation, so let's do it through escrow.
Right, so let's get the repair done and pay for it at the end.
Yeah. Exactly. So it just got to think outside of the box. You got to be creative. Like not everybody's situation. Everybody's different.
Well, and I love that. It seems like you guys are taking such a fun approach to it.
Yeah.
Right. So flip for a minute to the buyers then. So how are you preparing buyers in a tight inventory market? You just said already, if it's below 300,000, there's nothing. How are you getting everyone ready and scouting out buyers?
Yeah. So that's when we talk to our buyers about being creative. Vision. And then I say, it doesn't cost $10,000 to paint this, but it is, it is difficult on the buyer side. What I am finding that buyers, we were talking a little bit about this earlier, buyers are really wanting an agent who is hyper local, focused, has the insights, right? Because any buyer can, and this is some feedback I've gotten from buyers, like, well, I worked with an agent and it's like, I showed them the house. Hey, I want to go see this house. They wrote the offer and they don't know what happens behind the scenes, right? Like they don't know the conversations we're having. So they're like, I showed them the house, they wrote an offer and they closed. Like, what the heck, what did you do? And then a lot of agents will be like, well, I can't say this, I can't say that, I shouldn't say this. But it's like, there's a way where you can give people the information they're looking for too. We're finding that buyers are insisting that, I want to know, like, is there walking trails, you know, down to the hyper local, you know, I mean, is there a dog park nearby? You know, where's the closest supermarket? What's coming on this corner? You know, what kind of school options are there? You know, is there a lot of kids in the neighborhood that go, you know, there's some things we can't say, but there are ways where we can give them insight on different neighborhoods and kind of feedback we get in the community, because that's what they need us for. They need that personal touch. Otherwise, why aren't they just going on the internet and like, you know, whatever.
Take that house.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's what we're up against. And I think that buyers are demanding that we give them that insight and let them know what people, you know, and what's coming to the area. Like we have to bring value to the buyer on a different way than we ever have before.
Expert, right?
Exactly.
It's being a true expert in the neighborhood. And I do think that that's a challenge if someone's says, oh, yeah, it'll take me an hour to get there from my house. You know, they may know it because maybe they grew up in that area, but they also may not know it.
Sure. Well, and that's true. I mean, we started off, in 17 years ago was when, 17 years ago, yes, in September. Oh, I'm seriously not that old. I started when I was 12, in case you're wondering.
You and me both.
Yeah. Time goes by so fast, right?
Know,
what the
crazy,
heck?
Right?
So, but I mean, like, we were selling in Buckeye, we were selling in, you know, Peoria, like anywhere, because, you know, we couldn't be choosy. It's like, you know, beggars can't be choosers. But now we've gotten to the point, and so I know enough about those areas because we have friends that I'm like, oh, I just want to take care of you. But then you kind of do as years go on, and then you develop partners up in those next to the woods, and then, you know, and kind of focus more on the East Valley. But I feel like a little bit definitely add an advantage from growing up here. So, I mean, born basically, well, not born here, but since I was 4 years old, so it's pretty much.
Okay, I was here since I was 9.5, so close.
Oh, I beat you.
So that's all right. That's all right. I think it's interesting, and that is one of the things I want people to understand is, right, certainly there's no doubt in Southeast Valley, you guys are experts, and yes, you know enough to sell other places, but if someone reached out to you and you didn't feel comfortable, you would connect them with a partner through your KW network of folks that would be able to help them out.
Keller Williams. Oh, love it. That was a plug.
That's okay. This is
plugging
we
thing.
can plug all you want.
Oh,
What else should we plug? Anything else? We plug Gilbert.
You said we could talk politics.
No, I said we can't. I know you're a poli-sci major. So.
Oh, gosh.
You'd lose me quick only because I don't know what's going on. That's all. You know, you could talk all you want. I would just sit here quietly. Like,
okay, how about religion?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's start there too. We could talk about kids.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know, what else you want to talk? We can talk about picnics. I mean, what would be good to talk about? I normally put people on the spot and I say, well, what else haven't we talked about that we should talk about? And then every once in a while I get that blank stare. So I'm trying not to do that anymore, but I continue to still do that.
Gosh, yeah. I mean, I'm up to the challenge. So, well, if you want to talk about kids, I have an awesome 19-year-old who goes to school up at Embry-Riddle in Prescott.
Oh, yeah, I know Embry-Riddle.
Yeah, he just killed it.
It's like an engineering pilot school, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like, so it's definitely a STEM school. Mm-hmm. Not a lot of girls there. He was not excited about that, but he's got a girlfriend, so it's fine. But so it's like
I hope you like her.
Yeah, I do.
Well,
yeah.
And if you don't say not.
I know exactly. I mean, I feel like I caught myself. No, just kidding. Love you. So it's like pilots is what it was kind of known for, and then engineering. I mean, they literally like have rocket scientists there.
Yeah,
that's crazy. And then, but my son's doing global security and intelligence, and he's doing
smart.
Army ROTC and stuff. But yes, he got 4 A's and a B.
Nice. Congratulations.
Sophomore. Yeah, I know. I was like, so it's funny. So me and my husband, Mike, where is he?
I heard him. I know I invited him, but that's all.
Oh, yeah. He's so shy. He just doesn't get any room to talk. But anyway, so it's so funny. So he gets the grades, and I'm like, well, what the heck? Like, why didn't you get all A's? And then, like, my husband's like, oh, my gosh, how did you get those grades? He's like, I'm shocked I even graduated high school. Because it's like, just not into the books and everything. But, yeah, so both of our kids are. And then my daughter is 16. And a junior, so.
Oh, awesome.
In high school, so.
I know, and you're a Sun Devil. We talked about that. That's pretty exciting.
Go Devils. I mean, they're awesome, right?
Yeah, they are.
It's a great campus.
So
it's
are the
beautiful.
Wildcats, too.
I mean, I feel like Tucson, But that's okay because the Tucson people don't like Phoenix people.
I lived in Tucson for 12 years. It's actually not, but it's crazy traffic now. So it's interesting, you know, how you see, and they've developed cool community down there as well. And it's funny because when I think of their downtown, it's not quite the same as downtown Gilbert, but I think there's a lot of similarities to the growth.
Well, the foothills is really pretty. I've been to the foothills. Yeah, well, it's so funny. So I went down there. This was like years ago for like a staycation. And had the best massage of my life. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, she was amazing. And I'm like, I don't know. But I was like, you have to come up to Phoenix. Like, I'll just come for the day, come for 2 days. I'll have you booked. And she's like, I don't go to Phoenix.
Yeah,
but I was like, oh,
people
okay.
definitely draw a divide there.
Yeah.
I'm going to have an interview a Tucson agent on here so we can talk about that. I know some good folks down there.
Yeah, you totally should be
down
funny. There. Yeah, but like you need like a Phoenix and a Tucson so they can duke it out.
They'll have to drive all up. Well, you'll definitely be the Phoenix representative.
Good.
Would that be okay?
I'll represent. Yeah.
All right, so what else should I be asking you that I haven't asked?
Oh gosh, there's just so much.
Something else about Gilbert or something about real estate or something totally different that's not religion or politics?
I know. I gave you suggestions. What the heck?
I know.
You just keep shooting me down. Religion, politics, real estate. Well, the Go Gilbert stuff.
So in Go Gilbert, what video that you did got the most views? Or most comments?
Okay. So, well, it's funny. So we kind of changed the video. So when we first started out, I always dressed up. I don't know if you like have been on there, but like I dressed up because I was like, I wanted to catch people's attention.
Dressed up like a princess or dressed up like in a suit? Or a fancy dress.
So my idea, so we used to do these videos. We'd go into a new business, and they were like, Mike is like, so he would just edit them. I mean, they were like put to music, just crazy.
Oh, all right. So you spent a lot of time in editing.
Yeah. So the first year, so we've had it June 1st, 2017.
Okay.
Was when we're like did our first video. But so then I'm like, well, talking about people's attention spans and like how do you keep their attention? And there's so many people are doing videos. Like who just wants to sit and listen to me talk? I mean. Besides you.
Well, I am saying this is a highlight of my day.
Oh, great. And so I just thought, and I was like, there was a chicken place on every corner in Gilbert, I swear. Like chicken, like Cane's chicken.
Yeah.
Bush's chicken.
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
We didn't do Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Okay.
Oh, what's the other one that we did? Cane. Oh, two of them are out of business. Oops. Okay, so it was Cane's, Bush's chicken, and then
so a lot of good that video did for him.
Kidding. I was like, yeah. Exactly. I mean, come on. We're not miracle workers. If they would have let us go in and tell them what they were doing wrong and like, yeah.
Well, there you go. They would get more referrals and they would be like the mechanic. Their business would be up and they'd still be around.
Yeah. So slim chickens. So I thought, well, how do we do this? And so I dressed up like in a chicken suit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And a chicken. And we didn't tell them we were coming. Like we didn't talk to businesses then. So I just literally showed up like
and told the story?
No, I just ordered chicken and ate chicken. But it was kind of weird. Is that cannibalistic? I didn't think about it, but a chicken eating chicken.
That
could have been in poor taste. Yeah. So then we just so anyway, it's just funny to people
politics
to see.
and religion.
Yeah, a chicken.
So now you just dress like this.
Yeah, pretty much. And then like a French restaurant, like I dressed and so I took French.
Oui.
Oui. And so then I dressed in a mustache and like a beret and stuff. And so they didn't know I was coming. And so they're like, "Oh my gosh." So yeah, so it was kind of fun just to get that. And then honestly, like the first year we started this, like our business that's probably our worst year ever because we spent so much time on building the group and not a lot on real estate because we wanted to get our brand out there, get people excited. We didn't want to come in and be like, "Oh, we're realtors, buy or sell a host from us."
Yeah,
and so we tried to hook people.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh crap, they're in real estate, great." No.
I'm going to try to remember that I'm going to wear a chicken costume next time when I interview you.
Yeah, well, I've got it. You can borrow it.
Oh, you own it.
Oh,
you had to invest in the chicken costume.
Yeah, like Amazon was like my best friend.
Nice.
But so that was the thing. So once we got the branding out there, it was like, okay. And so then we switched and I told Mike, because he's like, wants everything pretty and perfect. I'm like, we got to do live videos because we do a video, for an hour or two, and then he'd spend all weekend editing it. I'm like, you're going to go insane.
That's no fun.
Yeah. So then we started doing more live. And I found out live videos, I was afraid of at first, but that's way easier because I know I can't go, oh, hold on, because it's too late, right? So then I was like, so I did better at live.
You just roll with it.
Yeah. But it's interesting on video, and I know because that's huge, and I think everyone in social media is like, do video. But there's different ways to upload it, and the live videos, I don't know, like HD quality is down or something like that. So that was the other thing that we were kind of annoyed at, but I don't think people care.
I don't think so either. If the content's good, they're going to keep watching it, and if it's not, they're going to scroll to the next video of a person in a chicken suit.
Right? That's what I think. I was trying to think of another one that we did that was funny. I mean, there's so many. I'm just kidding.
I know there are. I have no doubt that there are.
They're just hilarious.
Well, I would say this. This was a lot of fun.
Good.
And we'll definitely have to have you back on. We won't invite Mike again.
I don't like to share the mic. Because, he'd kind of...
Yeah, exactly. That would be a challenge. But I just want to thank you for being part of your neighborhood real estate show. And that's Aunt Schude, the Schude Group. We'll see you next time.
Awesome. Bye.
This episode is brought to you by homebuyeruniversity.net, your free comprehensive guide to buying or refinancing your home. Click over to homebuyeruniversity.net to get started online today.